These guys, Morales, Prates, Shavkat, they make me like training every day more hard. But because I see this is the real fighters who can give me good fights. It's more tough guys, more big guys. With all respect, they are the most powerful division right now.
I need a message for Islam Makhachev.
I will knock you out, bro. Knock you out, bro.
Knock you out?
I will bring that belt to Brazil. The first welterweight champ from Brazil.
I feel in my heart of hearts it's going to be Carlos Prates. I feel like that's the move. That's the guy who's been more active. That's the guy who has the higher quality wins.
Now, still, stylistically, and particularly a guy like Prates, I do believe that the UFC is probably going to give him Carlos Prates because they like him. Bro, stylistically, that's a great matchup for Islam Makhachev.
Islam Makhachev just sent a warning to Carlos Prates, Michael Morales, and Shavkat Rakhmonov on notice, but Prates wants him next and is already promising to knock him down. With Ariel Helwani calling Islam versus Prates the best matchup and Henry Cejudo backing it next, the welterweight division is heating up fast. Islam Makhachev admits Carlos Prates, Michael Morales, and Shavkat Rakhmonov are the dangerous contenders pushing him to train even harder, proving he sees serious threats waiting at welterweight. But Islam isn't slowing down. He says he wants to fight before Ramadan, with a return potentially coming as early as January.
These guys, Morales, Prates, Shavkat, they make me like training every day more hard. But because I see this is the real fighters who can give me good fights. It's more tough guys, more big guys. With all respect, they are the most powerful division right now.
However, analyst Ariel Helwani is convinced Islam Makhachev's move to 170 is about to unleash a whole new level of challenges, naming Carlos Prates, Michael Morales, and Shavkat as the dangerous contenders waiting in line. But Ariel already has a clear favorite for who gets the next shot, and his prediction could set the entire welterweight division on fire.
I'm fascinated with Islam at 170 because I think it's going to be a lot tougher for him. And so now we're going to really truly see who he is. He's already proven himself at 155. There was really nothing left. Yes, there was another Arman fight, and yes, we wanted to see the Ilya fight, and I would argue that I probably wanted to see those fights more than any other challenge at 170. But now, him versus Carlos, him versus Michael Morales, him versus Shavkat, maybe a rematch down the line against Ian Garry. Sign me up. I can't wait to see how it all plays out. And so who are they going to go with? They had Carlos there, they had cameras on him, they did the split screen with Michael Morales and Carlos Prates. I feel in my heart of hearts it's going to be Carlos Prates. I feel like that's the move. That's the guy who's been more active. That's the guy who has the higher quality wins. I feel like this is the move.
The debate is getting brutal as the analysts compare Carlos Prates and Michael Morales, with both emerging as terrifying knockout threats at 170. But with Pirates and Morales destroying elite competition, the question is becoming impossible to ignore. Who truly deserves to be next in line for Islam Makhachev?
Carlos's last 3 wins: Jack Della TKO, Leon KO, Jeff Neal KO, and then the loss to Ian is in the 4th fight.
Sorry, I said 2 ago, 3 ago. My mistake.
No, and I'm just trying to compare. The Brady TKO was supremely impressive. The Gilbert Burns TKO was impressive as well. Obviously a little bit, back end. Neil Magny TKO is very impressive. The guy just never dies. He looked great on Saturday, once again coming back. Jake Matthews decision, Max Griffin, Adam Fugit, Trevor
but
Giles.
These are like very early on in his career.
No, I'm just
7-0 UFC,
100%.
19-0 overall. The good news is both of them have insane knockout power. Carlos Prates might be the hardest hitting 170er. I mean, he literally ethers everyone. Michael Morales as well. I think we're going to see both of them. If he passes the test on whoever is next, I think...
Ariel Helwani throws a bombshell idea into the contender debate. Why not make Carlos Prates versus Michael Morales a true #1 contender fight and finally settle who deserves Islam Makhachev? Instead of endless jockeying for position, Ariel wants these two dangerous contenders to fight for the right to challenge the champion.
So it's interesting you say that, because I remember saying not that long ago, why can't we have Carlos versus Michael? Why can't we figure this out? Because the resumes are so equal, because they actually both have very strong cases, why can't we see them fight each other to then figure out, like, there used to be a thing called a #1 contender fight, like a true #1 contender fight to determine who is the guy rather than the jockeying of position, right? And a lot of people were saying, no, that's crazy. Why would you kill off a contender? Well, that's the whole point. Like, you want to see who the rightful guy is.
Shifting to a different perspective, Henry Cejudo just turned up the heat, arguing that if the UFC wants to get the welterweight title picture right, Carlos Prates should be forced to fight Michael Morales for the #1 contender spot. But then Cejudo dropped the real bombshell. He believes the UFC may still hand Prates to Islam Makhachev because of the stylistic matchup. And after what Ian Garry exposed in Prates' game, Cejudo is convinced Islam could be facing a dangerous matchup that looks far more favorable than fans realize.
If the UFC wants to make this right, Kamaru, hold on real quick. If the UFC wants to make this right, you have to make Carlos Prates fight Michael Morales, #1 contender. That's one. That's one. You cannot pick one. But check this out. Check what I'm about to say. Now, still, stylistically, and particularly a guy like Prates, I do believe that the UFC is probably going to give him Carlos Prates because they like him. Bro, stylistically, that's a great matchup for Islam Makhachev. Notice what Ian Garry did to Prates. You know what I'm saying? Prates only won 1 round from him. To me, in my opinion, Ian Garry only won 1 round from Islam Makhachev. Like, the reality is, at 170 pounds, the guy that's undefeated, I think it should probably be Michael Morales, dude.
Meanwhile, Carlos Prates has made it crystal clear he wants Islam Makhachev, not Michael Morales, and he's coming for the biggest challenge possible. Prates is already turning up the pressure, warning Islam that if they meet, he plans to hunt him down and knock him out cold.
I need a message for Islam Makhachev.
I will knock you out, bro. Knock you out, bro.
Knock you out?
I will bring that belt to Brazil. The first welterweight champ from Brazil.
However, MMA Guru's instinct is to make Carlos Prates and Michael Morales collide in a massive title eliminator. He believes the winner would emerge as the clear #1 contender and earn the next shot at Islam Makhachev. With both dangerous contenders hunting for that opportunity, Guru sees Prates versus Morales as the ultimate test before facing Islam.
He said he wants to fight before Ramadan, so he's thinking January.
That makes sense.
I saw Morales and Prates in the crowd at this event, and they were kind of like chummy with each other, like laughing and like chucking some zingers back and forth at each other in the crowd. There used to be a way of figuring this shit out, and that would be if Morales and Prates fought each other in a fight night main event with an open crowd and the people. I think that would be an amazing title elimination bout, and it would hype up the winner versus Makhachev even more, because we know we're going to be waiting some time for Makhachev to come.
Sean O'Malley fired off a bold prediction, saying Ian Garry is tough enough to jump straight into another brutal challenge after facing Islam Makhachev. He believes Garry would accept the dangerous Michael Morales fight without hesitation, setting up a potential war for the welterweight division.
Bigger, better guys. I think you have Ian Garry versus Michael Morales. Ian's not super hurt. That's a hard fight. That's a tough fight to throw him in there after throwing him in there against Islam. But Ian Garry's the type of dude that will take that fight. Ian versus Morales, Carlos versus Islam. I'm calling Sugar Sean Shelby right now.
Shifting to Islam versus Ian Garry fight preview, Israel Adesanya was left stunned as Islam Makhachev proved once again why he sits at the top of the MMA world. Ian Garry survived the storm and went toe-to-toe with the pound-for-pound king, but was that enough to truly threaten Islam? Adesanya believes this fight elevated both men, but Islam's dominance sent a much bigger message. After watching what happened, one question remains: who can actually stop Islam Makhachev now?
And good for Ian to recover, stay composed, and not get finished, because most men would have got finished in that point.
Yeah.
But you would get hurt like that as well. Yeah, crazy fight. And again, this just, I think this still, like already it's, Islam stock is up here. He's the pound for pound best fighter in the world right now. So this elevates his stock, but also for Ian Garry, for him to go out there, and go toe-to-toe with the best in the world, I think that elevates him as well. So,
however, Demetrious Johnson couldn't hide his frustration as he questioned Ian Garry's mentality against Islam Makhachev. With the biggest opportunity of his career right in front of him, Mighty felt Ian was surviving instead of unleashing everything to dethrone the champion. He even questioned whether Ian truly had that ruthless killer instinct needed to finish a fighter like Islam. But here's the scary question: if Ian couldn't go all out against Islam, will anyone else dare to? two?
Yeah, I hope. I mean, it's so hard because like after Ian lost, he was almost like, I lost. Like I felt like he survived. I don't know. I have like a weird mixed emotion about like he survived, and I felt like he didn't give it. It's kind of hard for me to say this, right? It's almost like I never forget when I fought Dominic Cruz, I left it out there. I was fucking battered, beaten, fucking face was all swollen. I gave it my all. Like if I just really, I guess you say, laid it all out on the line. Like I'm gonna try to fucking finish you. And I just didn't feel that same killer instinct. Even Dana White said the exact same thing.
I felt like, I think that Ian is a talented guy. If he had even an ounce of killer instinct, you don't come out and hug and shake hands in the fight. That shit drives me fucking crazy.
Dude, I had the opportunity to dethrone the greatest of the generation, of my generation, the greatest of all time. You know, the 2 divisional champ. And I didn't feel that killer instinct. But when you look at his last past fights, his 5 fights, he's gone to decision. He hasn't really developed new skills. You know, he is only 28.
Warping it up, might also spoke Islam Makhachev once again exposed the difference in levels, constantly forcing Ian Garry into survival mode with relentless grappling pressure. Garry showed flashes of brilliance, but Islam's control and adjustments kept shutting down his biggest weapons. The real shock, every time Garry seemed close to turning the fight around, Islam found another way to take control. Was this the moment that proved Islam isn't just elite, but operating on an entirely different level?
Yeah, so that was one thing he did good, but I still, and then the other thing that Ian Garry did very well, that I think everybody's like excited about, is that each time Islam Makhachev shot the single leg, his head was on the outside. Ian Garry did a good job stuffing that his head, right side, grabbing the butt cheek, diving in.
Kind of how Conor did against Khabib in the first round.
Exactly. The first time it happened, Islam stuck with it. The second time, Ian Garry was able to beat the shoulder. The third time, Islam basically just brought his arm out. Even if he beat the shoulder, he brought his arm out, and that's where he kind of secured it.
Yeah.
But still, it's when somebody's constantly on defense in a fight, you don't have as many.
Behind.
You're behind. You're constantly behind, waiting for the opponent to get tired,
make a mistake,
right? So if you fight Ian Garry and you don't make a mistake, then the likely chance of you winning that fight, if you have more tools in the toolbox, it favors you a lot more. And that's what I think we saw, with Islam Makhachev.
In the end, Islam Makhachev has made it clear that Carlos Prates, Michael Morales, and Shavkat Rakhmonov are among the dangerous contenders waiting for him at welterweight. But Prates isn't backing down. He wants Islam next and is already warning the champion that he plans to knock him out. Ariel Helwani sees Prates versus Morales as a potential #1 contender showdown, while Henry Cejudo believes the UFC could still match Prates directly with Islam. MMA Guru agrees that Prates versus Morales could settle who truly deserves the next title shot. Meanwhile, Sean O'Malley believes Ian Garry could jump straight into another dangerous fight with Morales after facing Islam. And after Islam's performance against Garry, Israel Adesanya, and Demetrious Johnson left fans with an even bigger question: who can actually stop Makhachev now? The welterweight division is officially on fire, with Prates, Morales, Shavkat, and Garry all circling Islam Makhachev. But with every contender bringing a different threat, the biggest question remains: who deserves to stand across from Islam next? Drop your prediction below, and don't forget to subscribe for the latest UFC updates and explosive fight breakdown. Prates wants Islam next, and he's already promising to knock the champion out. But should Prates get the shot, or must he first survive Michael Morales in a brutal no-one contender fight? If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button and share this video with another UFC fan. Subscribe now and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next explosive update on Islam Makhachev, Carlos Prates, and the welterweight title picture.